Your body is over 95% water. So if your self-talk is awful, if you're spewing hatred, if you're looking back at your background and your life and you're getting upset and angry at stuff that happened, what do you think you're doing to the water cells in your body?
Welcome to the Spirits Beside Us podcast. I'm your host, Chris Lippincott. I'm an ex-Wall Street analyst turned international medium, spiritual teacher, and best-selling author. Each week we'll dive into the fascinating and uplifting arena of the non-physical world to help you deepen your understanding and spiritual connection to the unseen realm. We'll also share a behind-the-scenes look with others who've done the same and speak with experts in the field about their experiences. Pull up a seat and let's dive into these perspective-changing conversations. Welcome back to another episode of Spirits Beside Us. I'm so glad to have you back here listening to another episode. And today we've got a wonderful guest, and her name is Katharine Giovanni. And I love having Katharine on because not only is she intuitive, she's got this wonderful gift of channeling everything that she receives. She's quite a prolific author of 12 transformative books, and she's a 3-time best-selling author, an award-winning author, and she is able to give these profound insights, especially on forgiveness, but also about personal empowerment. And she's combining her tremendous background with her passion for helping people, helping them unlock their potential and really helping you weave the intricacies between the unforgivable, forgiving the unforgivable, and helping people kind of see past that so you can really truly let go and really kind of move forward and sort of unburden yourself and become much more authentic and really focus on you. And I just can't wait to dive into this. So Katharine, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, this is going to be great. One of the things I'm always talking about is how important, forgiveness is just to our own ability. It's not so much, okay, well, I'm going to forgive and forget. It's more, I just want to let go of all the garbage that, I might have collected. So to me, it seems like the main purpose of forgiveness is forgiving myself because I just want to let go. I want to move on because the other person certainly has. I mean, what's your whole view on forgiveness? Giant topic, but what is the purpose of forgiveness and how can we forgive those unforgivable things?
Well, the thing about forgiveness is everybody on the planet, your teachers, your pastors, your friends, your parents, everybody says you have to forgive. Nobody teaches you how.
How?
And what if you don't want to? Then what do you do?
Yeah,
what if it's an unforgivable act? Yeah. Then what do you do?
Right.
So a few things about forgiveness for me is just because I forgive you doesn't mean I want a relationship with you. I probably don't. Forgiveness is selfish. It's personal. You do it for you. Just because I forgive you doesn't mean I'm giving you a pass. This 10 out of 10 people, this is what trips them up. This is one of the reasons they don't want to forgive, because if I forgive you, I'm giving in. All of a sudden, now I'm forgiving you, it means you're correct. It does not. No. They are still unforgivable. They're still a dumpster fire. What forgiveness means is I want you out of my head. That's it. I want you out of my head. I want to stop thinking about you, dreaming about you. If I go walk into a bakery and I smell some chocolate chip cookies, I don't want that to remind me of the memory. I want you out of my head. Bottom line. So on a 10 scale, with 10 being unforgivable and 1 being the easiest person in the world to forgive, every single one of your listeners right now are thinking of their number 10 person who hurt them the most. And that's totally fair. So I'm the only one in the world that's going to look to you and say, you don't have to forgive the unforgivable. You don't.
Right.
Why? Because there's a lot of people, places, and things, and I did say places and things, stay with me, that you can forgive before you even get to that dumpster fire. Like you start with part of the system, the 7-step system, is you start with the easy ones.
Right.
Like the person on I-95 who cut you off yesterday. Come
on,
you can forgive that person. The person who cut you off on aisle 7 of the grocery store. All right. They were reaching for the same product. You got a little irritated. You can forgive that person. Easy people that you can forgive.
Yeah.
So that's where I want you to start. And by the time you get to the unforgivables, and you might be yourself might be an unforgivable, You'll be ready for it. But we'll talk about how to forgive the unforgivable. They're
It's
a bear.
practice. Yeah, it's practice. You just got to get into the practice of it. It's you got to start somewhere. It's very much like a meta meditation where you start giving, love and healing to yourself first, and then your family, and then your friends, and eventually you will finally get to that person that your enemy, you don't even like. It's that whole
Well,
practice.
you did say forgive and forget. That's one of those sayings that is out there. But I don't know anybody who's going to forget. Not from New York City.
No.
And we're not forgetting anything. We're not. It's
Memory's
not
like a horse.
not my DNA.
No.
But what I can promise you is using my system, it will remove the emotional charge. So you're not going to think great thoughts. You're not going to think bad thoughts. You're not going to care. And if it's a dysfunctional childhood like I had, you're probably not even going to think about it anymore, which would be so freeing. So let me give you a visual. For anybody listening to this broadcast, I'm about to hold a purple coffee cup, because I like purple, in front of my face. So this coffee cup represents anger and bitterness and regret and bad self-talk. But look at my body language, Chris. I can have a conversation with you. Look how easy it is. I can manage my anger. Well, you're in a session. Well, I can see that you're angry. Well, no, I'm not. I can manage my anger because my body language, look at it, easy. But the longer I hold on to it, humans irritate other humans. I'm going to put more stuff in that cup. So after a while, now I'm holding it with two hands. I'm still managing my anger. It's still being held to the side, and I can see new job opportunities, all these things, but it's starting to kind of permeate my conversations, isn't it? It's starting to really bother me and interfering with my life. The longer I hold on to it, now I'm holding the cup in front of my face. My life has pretty much stopped. I can't see you. I'm missing opportunities because I'm so focused on the anger. Even if you spin the story as funny, it's in every conversation. I'm dreaming about it, thinking about it, being reminded of it. So my forgiveness system is designed to start with the easy ones so you can move the cup back over to the side. And then eventually when you get to the higher numbers, the 8s, 9s, and 10s unforgivable, you can put down the cup and your life is going to change. Why? Well, look at my body language now. I'm paying attention now. I could see my dream significant other who I might have missed before. I could see job opportunities. I can see ways to get healthy or lose weight or tap into my intuition. I could hear my intuition. Why couldn't I hear it before? Because the anger was hanging around your body like an iron shield, and it was preventing everything.
And I think that's what's so important is our energy force, our focus on that anger permeates not only our body, but it permeates our entire, energy field and everything that we try to do so that we can no longer, be the people that we truly are meant to be, that we truly are inside. We're obfuscated. We're colored over by that anger, by that pessimism, by that feeling, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and I didn't make my intuitive friend here say that. Because the magic of the entire thing, you just hit it. The magic, the reason people come to me and say, I did do the work, I did forgive them. Yeah, you did. Absolutely you did. But why are you still thinking of them now? They have a nasty habit of not staying forgiven, correct? It could be an ex-lover, business partner, family member. Family members are usually in the 8s, 9s, and 10s. Your family can really screw you up, right? They didn't forgive the energy. So there's worksheets and stuff in the book, but the simple mantra, now you don't have to hold any crystals unless you really want to. You don't have to burn any incense unless you like the smell of them. You don't have to do anything. It's a simple poem. You don't have to reach out and contact the person if you really want to make amends, because just because I forgive you, forgiveness doesn't really mean make amends. It means I want you out of my head. So the very simple mantra is I completely forgive Chris. I completely forgive the energy around Chris. I forgive myself. I forgive the energy around myself. I forgive the energy around the entire thing. And so be it. Amen. Godspeed. End it any way you like. And I'll go through the exact system in a minute so everybody can, I understand not everybody likes to read or listen to audiobooks. So we'll go through the system. That's the system.
Yeah.
Einstein clearly proved that energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just turns in from one thing to another.
Absolutely.
So when you get angry, what does everybody think? You think it leaves your mouth and it magically dissipates in the universe. It does not, especially the traumatic ones. It hangs in your energy field and it stays there until you transmute it.
Right.
Now, why do people think anger is toxic? I have a whole science chapter. Well, there was a study done in Japan. It's called the Japanese Water Study. Guy named, I want to say Matsumoto. I know that's not right, but it's close.
Yep.
Hasumoto, something like that. So what he did is he took several containers of water. The first container of water, all he did was talk to it, spoke love to it, said these beautiful things to it. That's all he did. The second container of water, he did nothing but speak hate to it, the worst words you can think of. Then he froze the water and he put it under a microscope. The water that he froze, that he spoke love to, had these gorgeous, beautiful snowflake-looking molecules. The water he spoke hate to had these black and brown malformations kind of going inside itself. It was really ugly. Pictures are right online. They're fascinating. Why am I telling you this? Your body is over 95% water.
Yes.
So if you're if your self-talk is awful, if you're spewing hatred, if you're looking back at your background and your life and you're getting upset and angry at stuff that happened, what do you think you're doing to the water cells in your body?
There you go. Truly toxic. And that experiment has been repeated so many times. And so for those people who say, oh, well, you have to follow the scientific method, it has been repeated multiple times the exact same way with the exact same results. So the scientific method proves that that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what's happening. I often will talk to my water before I drink it. Of course, I'll do it when I'm alone because I don't want people to think I'm a nut.
Oh, that could be a great scene in the middle of the restaurant. Oh, I love you, water.
So much. I'm so happy that you are in my life. I love you. Yeah, no. And I talk to the water. I talk to my plants. I mean, it's almost like some of the things you learned as a child, I actually want you to relearn. Don't get what you know get in the way of what you can learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
I'm just saying.
You can, you can feel that energy, and you can feel it on an emotional level, on an energetic level, on a cellular level.
Yeah.
You can feel it. And so when you feel that anger, that's not going away. That's the true energy. And it sits in you. Where does it sit? At that cellular level you were just talking about.
It's in your chest. It's in your back. It's in your stomach. So when you do the mantra, I'm going to have you check in with your body. Are you still angry? If you are, where is the anger centered in your body? Are you feeling better? Did you do a number 5 person? Is it a number 4? Or did it go up? That's not what's supposed to happen. Well, what happened? Why would I forgive a number 1 person and all of a sudden it's a 7? Happened to a really close friend of mine. She was very confused. Well, you see, the brain is an absolutely brilliant tool and it protects you.
Yeah.
So it's looking at you saying, ooh, Chris is ready. He cleared the first layer of the onion because forgiveness is like an onion. So I'm going to open up that back closet he's had padlocked since he was a boy. And I'm going to open it up and I'm going to flood it with memories.
Uh-oh. Watch it.
Yes, there you go. So this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. But
Yes.
that's, with some people in your life, you're going to have to chip away at it.
Yeah. And what's so interesting also is that the longer you do it, the more, not only the more practice you get at it, but it's also ultimately you're seeking peace for yourself, because peace is nothing but the elimination of anger, the elimination of attachment, the elimination of everything that, you would essentially be forgiving. So once you have attained all of the forgiveness, you are stumbling into that blissful space called peace. And that's what we all want.
We all want peace. And what is peace? It means all these hateful people are not in your head anymore.
Exactly.
Period. There's nothing really exotic about it. I want you out of my head. Bottom line. Once you're out of my head, I can get peace. I can get zen. I can be the person I came to this planet to be.
Right.
Why aren't you your authentic self? Why aren't you in that dream job, dream house, and all these things? Well, because you're too focused on the anger and you're holding on to the hate. So every once in a while, I apologize to the men listening, but it's usually a man. All due respect, don't send me emails of hate, please. It is what it is. But they'll look at me and they'll say, my hatred towards my father, mother, whatever, or my ex-lover, whatever it is, that hatred, that traumatic incident is what fueled my fire. It's why I get up every morning, and it's why I've become so successful, and it's why I've made all this money, because I used it and I molded it into like a gasoline, and that's how I got there. Okay, let's talk about that.
But are you really happy?
Sure. Okay, you're going into a hotel. You have a choice of 2 elevators. You take the one on the left. You're going up to the 72nd floor. But some punk kid pressed every single solitary button to the 72nd floor. So you're going to get to the 72nd floor, but you're going to stop at every single floor. So by the time you get up there, you're like battered and bloodied and upset. Wouldn't you rather take the express?
Yeah.
You know, it's like choosing between the local train and the express train. They're both going to get to the destination. Absolutely. You can get there if you use your hatred as a gasoline. You'll get there, but you're going to ride as bloody as a stump. Wouldn't you rather take the express train and get there farther and faster?
So that literally goes to the point of saying somebody's pushing your buttons. Literally.
Yes, literally. Yeah. And you and we've all been in elevators like that where you have to stop at every single floor. And you don't mean to get grumpy, but by the time you get up there, you're like, oh God.
Yes, exactly. Now, is this something also that can be done with, just the momentary or daily frustration that, you might be experiencing? Like, okay, well, maybe you're at a restaurant and, some person's child starts screaming in the middle of the restaurant. You're like, oh God, just get them out of here.
Yeah.
That's like a mini forgiveness right there. And that's a great practice right there. You can start to learn. So
go right. It goes right in your list. What I usually do in that situation is I'll go out to my car, whenever it is, say, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. Family function, when you get angry in the moment, I immediately just start repeating, I forgive you. It doesn't mean anything. There's no energy behind it, but it reminds me. And I want you to do this practice at night. So that person automatically goes on my nightly list because I do it every night. So let's go through it. I want you to write a list. And we're going to talk about the places and things when I get to the unforgivables. Remind me. But I want you to write a list. And I apologize to the young people, but I really want you to use a pen and paper.
Yes.
And there's a reason you want to use a pen and paper is because scientific studies have absolutely proven there's something magical that happens from the brain down the arm to the paper. And I don't know what it is, but it's magical. So you could use your phone if you want to. But if you have pen and paper, do that. Write down a bunch of names that you think you have to forgive. It could be 10, it could be 20, it could be as many as you like. And then I want you to rate them from 1 to 10. 10 being unforgivable dumpster fire and 1 being so freaking easy. And you could have 20 number 5s. I don't care. This is your party. You could skip a number. Still don't care. Do whatever you like. But I want you to start with the 1s. And this list should contain everybody from the time you were in the sandbox as a little kidlet all the way up to present day. And you start with the easy ones and you work your way up. And you say my mantra, and I'm going to have you be alone in a room. You do not have to call these people. You do not have to reach out to them. You do it in the privacy of your own home. Nobody has to know you're doing it. And I sit in the middle of my bed and I imagine the person standing in front of me as I knew them when we had the problem. Not if it's somebody from high school, I will imagine the kid in high school, not the adult that you might know today. And I imagine it through my mind's eye. I know you can do it, but can you see your childhood room in your head?
Oh, yeah.
Can you see the color of the walls?
Absolutely.
Okay, for everybody listening who just tried that, that's clairvoyance. It's not a Stephen King thing. You're not going to see a ghost walk into the room, although you might.
I have.
But in the beginning, you're not. It merely means that you see the answers. You see it through the written word. You see it through signs in the universe. That's how you use your intuition. You see it. Now, not everybody can see that. So if you can't imagine your childhood bedroom in your mind's eye right now, put a chair in front of you, wherever you are, in front of your bed, in front of whatever, the couch, talk to the chair. Pretend the person is sitting in the chair. If you can't pretend, put their picture there or put their name there. And then, if you want, you can let them have it. Say anything you want. And in fact, since it doesn't matter where the person is or isn't, you can also forgive dead people because they're alive and well in your head. Mm-hmm. Just because they're dead doesn't mean they're not still alive and well in your head. Your parents really hurt you. Well, you can still get the closure from your parents. This is the way to do it. And once you have finished letting it all out and saying exactly what you want, then I want you to say the mantra that I said earlier with your hand on your heart, because the words are just for us. It's really the energy behind the words that makes the most magic. And then afterwards, I want you to imagine that they walk out the door. When I first did this, I imagined that they walked out the window because I was sitting in the middle of my bed, and I thought, that's a bad analogy, because now I'm thinking there's a splat on the sidewalk outside. So I had to make it, I did it again with maybe it's only me being silly, but I had to imagine they walked out the door. Yeah. Then I want you to just check in with yourself. Are you still angry? Okay, cross it out. You don't cross it out. You're going to do it again tomorrow night. Wait 24 hours, do it again. What number is it? Is the 1 now a 0? Good, you're done. Is the 1 still a 1 or the 5 still a 5? Keep going. There's probably more to do. And keep doing. I only want you to do 10 a night. And there's a reason behind that. And your body is going to heal itself while it's sleeping. So I want you to do it before bed.
Interesting.
Now, when I first did this, I do my own exercises. I drink my own I have to stop saying that, sailing. It's awful. Drinking the Kool-Aid. Please don't Google that. It's a horrible thing. Yeah, don't. Now they're all going to Google it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Drink the Kool-Aid.
What are they talking about? Yeah, that was a horrible thing. Happened in Africa. Never mind. Anyways, I do my own experiments, and I must have written down 50 names. I was very angry. It was about 10 years ago. I was in my 50s. And I thought, this is going to be great. I'm going to be like a phoenix rising from the ashes. I'm going to be like a butterfly. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning. I'm going to be a new person. That old person, that whole angry hatred person is going to be gone. Yeah. Didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Never does it? Nope. And I actually did forgive many people on the list, but I also spent the next 3 days in bed with what everybody thought was a stomach flu. It was not the stomach flu. Remember those water cells we were talking about?
Ah, yes.
The energy has to go someplace.
Somewhere.
Your body heals itself at night. If you do anywhere from 2 to 10 before you go to bed, your body will transmute it while you're sleeping. But if you overdo it, like I did, because I'm a little bit of an overachiever, your body is going to have to take the time. And it doesn't mean you ate a piece of bad fish. It's your body kind of detoxing and getting rid of that anger sludge that you've had in your body and you've been carrying around for decades and may I say centuries. That's a whole nother podcast right there.
Yeah.
But, it's be good to yourself. And this is a marathon, not a sprint. And it's this energy, it's powerful.
Yeah. It's very much like when you take a sound bath. When you take a sound bath, not only are you supposed to be drinking a lot of water, but when you go to bed, you'll be having lots of vivid dreams. And when you wake up next morning, you will have slept so well. Because
I like sound baths. I've done that.
Yeah, I love sound baths. It's like it's a cellular massage. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to say it's the same thing, but it's your body dealing with all of that energy at a cellular level. So if you, to your point, if you go overboard, your body can handle only so much.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll have that stomach flu or whatever it happens to be.
Well, when people do this method, you have forgiven somebody when you can look at their name or meet them at a party and you don't give a bleep.
Yeah. You don't care.
Just don't care.
Yeah.
And you're going to be nice and you're going to talk about the weather. You could even talk to them for a little while, but they're not going to be able to push their buttons. And Lord knows they're probably going to try.
Yeah.
And you won't care. And you're not going to need 5 days to pull yourself off the ceiling anymore. You're just going to go about your life. That's freedom right there.
Yeah, it's freedom. And that's what
That's
it's all
freedom.
about. You know what it reminds me of, as you mentioned freedom, it also reminds me of the emotional freedom technique.
EFT, my friend Katie does that. It's brilliant.
With tapping, it's the same kind of thing, because essentially there's almost like an affirmation. The fact that you're just saying it and visualizing it, you're affirming the energy and creating the energy, and thoughts create things. All that you think about, you create. What you think about, you bring about. It's the same concept. So what you're doing here is something very similar to that.
Very similar. So let's talk about the Unforgivable and how to forgive yourself. Now, this is the first book of 3. And the second one, which I'm actually writing right now, is how to forgive yourself and how to forgive money. Hello. Ooh. Money is just energy, people. We can forgive this. But forgiving yourself and forgiving an unforgivable person, that's a bear. You're never going to get a number 10 person down to a 1 overnight. This is going to take a number of passes. So let's take one of mine. Let's take one of the bullies. I always pick the bullies. We'll call the bully Martha, because I don't have any Marthas in my life, and it's a safe name. So let's say Martha was the one who bullied me in school, and I'm not ready to forgive her because I'm still pissed off. Okay, that's fair. So I'm going to pull apart the memory, and I'm going to forgive other parts of the memory. I'm going to forgive. Einstein also proved that everything on the planet has energy around it, including this little silver microphone. It has an energy field around it.
Everything
if it has an energy field around it, you can forgive it. You can forgive absolutely anything. People, places, things, times. I forgave 1974. Why did I forgive 1974? Because I was in the 8th grade. My parents were raging alcoholics, getting a divorce. I was getting bullied by Martha. And so I tried to commit suicide. And it was a horrible year. And I did forgive all the players within that year. Just like I forgave breast cancer. I'm a cancer survivor. I forgave cancer, wow. the chemo chair. I forgave the radiation slab. I forgave all of it and the energy around all these things. But when it comes to the number 10, I want you to pull apart a memory. So I pulled apart one memory and I forgave the school building and the energy around the school. I forgave my desk that I sat at every day and the energy around the desk. I forgave the classroom. I forgave the table, the chair, the bench, the park. I forgave the kids that stood around who didn't help me. Still haven't forgiven Martha, but I'm forgiving everything else within the memory. Yeah. Has it gotten that 10 down to a 9? Maybe. But it's certainly you're gonna get the 10 down to a, 9.75. I mean, you are going to get that down.
Yeah.
And if you can't forgive Martha, maybe try just forgiving the energy around your unforgivable person.
Right.
And if you can't even do that and you don't even want to entertain any of this, then I want you to say the following for the next 5 days. I completely forgive myself for not being able to forgive my unforgivable person and the energy around this thought. Say that every day for a week.
Yeah. I forgive
and
myself.
And that's going to start the party. That's going to get the party started. But you can forgive anything on the planet. You can forgive politicians, dare I say. You can forgive the war in the Middle East.
Are you sure politicians don't go up to like an 11? Kind of like
they might go up to they might be a 15 at this point. It's going to take a lot to get them down. That might be one of those let's pick apart the memory ones.
Yeah.
But you can forgive anything. You can forgive the war in the Middle East. What's it going to do for the war in the Middle East? Absolutely nothing. But it's going to do everything for you.
For you. Exactly.
So I had somebody else come up to me and said, I have nobody to forgive. Okay, let's talk about that one too. Sure you do. You into sports? Do you watch football, baseball, soccer? Did your team lose recently? Yeah. Yes? Forgive the team.
Exactly. And it's like for somebody to say, I have nobody to forgive is either A, the height of hubris, or B, the height of obfuscation and lying to themselves.
Usually it's the second. They're usually lying to themselves because they've got their anger in the back. And some of this anger is like a movie playing in the back of your head. You don't know it's there. If you knew it was there, you would turn it off, but you can't. It's just back here playing constantly. And forgiveness, even if you make one pass, is going to tap into that movie and it's going to allow you to stop it.
Right.
But I only want you to do one level 10, 8, 9 level, 8, 9, 10 level person a night because it's too much energy.
Too much energy.
And then I want you to wait 24 hours and do it again. This is the exact same as the law of gravity. The law of gravity will work whether you believe it in or not. It doesn't care. It will also work if I rename it. I can call it the law of keeping Chris on the planet. It doesn't care. It's still going to work. The law of forgiveness is the same. Years ago, I actually forgave my level 1 person. I picked somebody out from my past. I sat in the middle of my bed. This was years ago. And I thought I could forgive this person. Hadn't talked to her in like 30 years, dating myself. And I thought, I don't even remember what we were mad at because it's 30 years later. Who remembers what happened back in school? So I thought, this is easy. So I forgave her. It's a true story. 2 hours later, she called me up on the phone. I'm a concierge trainer by trade. I retired from the industry in 2020, but my concierge training kicked in virtually immediately. And I masked my jaw that had dropped to the floor. And we said all the right things and said all the right words and we, all those kinds of things. But I couldn't stand it. I said, I'm a curious little bear. After 30 years, why did you choose today to call me? She said, it's the damnedest thing. 2 hours ago, which was when I was saying this mantra, a figurine you gave me in school fell off my shelf and landed in the middle of my floor. And I saw it. And when I picked it up, I thought I should give you a call.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So if forgiveness moves a figurine on a shelf 700 miles away, or it transmutes and changes the water cells within your own body, imagine what it's going to do to your life.
Wow. Yeah. That's the powerful thing about energy. And the whole concept about energy is, since we are energy, we can also begin to then look at ourselves as not only just being the person doing the action, we can also be the observer. And so from that perspective, as we observe and be the observer, we can being aware. So we can even step back out of ourselves and look at ourselves forgiving. So we literally are detaching ourselves from that situation, yet the energy is still interplaying and we're still having that same effect. So you don't even have to go through or experience that same thing again.
Yeah, correct. But it's also some other things are going to happen in your life as you work this process because you're changing. You're turning from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And some things are going to happen. One of the things that might happen is people might be drawn to you like a bee to honey. Happens to me all the time. I'll go into a store. I'll be looking at something on aisle 4 of the grocery store. It's all empty. And then when I turn around, everybody's standing around me. I parked at the hospital 2-3 weeks ago because my husband was in an accident and I parked and the parking lot was pretty empty. When I came out, there were thousands of parking spaces available. Where did they park? Right next to my car. They're attracted to my energy. Now, on the other hand, I have people who are repelled by my energy and I'll shake their hand and it's like something lit their hand on fire and they'll take a step back. Because it's almost because I'm vibrating at such a different level than they are. It's literally paining them.
Yeah.
Now this can happen in your personal life. You're going to find people are going to warp into your personal life and they're going to be your besties. You're going to get new friends, new family. And family is who I choose to be family at this point. Most of my family is passed on. So I have family, but they don't always share my blood. And you're going to have people who I call jackrabbits. They're going to leave your life. I have a bunch of them. I've never seen them again.
Yeah.
They're gone without anything. They just ghosted and gone, to use a very modern term.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have the family, usually people you live with or blood family who love the caterpillar. They don't want you to turn into a butterfly. They like the messed up person. They like that vibration because that's where they're vibrating.
Right. That's what they're used to.
So they're going to try and sabotage it.
Yes, exactly.
And you'll know it because you'll see it.
That's so true. It's all about the vibration and energy. And vibration attracts, like attracts like. So the vibration that you are oscillating at, that's what you're going to attract into your life. And conversely, that the vibration is going to be so different to other people's energy vibrations that they are going to be very uncomfortable anywhere close to that level. So
that's why bullies bully. It's because
right.
of the vibration. They're kids and they run into somebody like me who's vibrating differently. And it's like, ooh. And they don't even know they're consciously doing it. It's an unconscious thought. And they'll think their unconscious will say, ooh, I don't like that.
Right.
I can bully you. That's why couples fall apart. One of the reasons.
Yeah.
They start vibrating at different rates.
Totally. And that's what's so amazing about energy. And, to the point where, we all know we're energy. Not only are our cells energy, we were just talking about all the water, but we also know that 99.9% of everything is energy.
100%.
We think that, this meat suit that we're wearing is solid. At a quantum level, it's completely empty.
No, it's not. It's not. It's all water.
It's all water. It's
Water
all
and
energy.
energy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's empty space. So if we're energy, then we're vibrating at different, rates. And, if you're above whatever it is, level 700 something, 700 hertz or something, if you're above that, you're in that bliss state. If you're below 200, you're in a massively angry state.
Let me tell you a funny story that happened to me years and years ago. I went out with a group of intuitive friends of mine to this bed and breakfast kind of lunch place. And we all sat down and we got given menus, right? Immediately I start hearing music in my head. And I'm pretty sure there was no music playing, but I was hearing music in my head. Say, put that in your pipe and smoke it for just a minute. The waiter came out. She was young. And she politely, remember, I'm a concierge trainer, customer service. She politely took everybody's order until she came to me. And she immediately went to the other side of the table like I had some kind of disease. And she took my order and then ran back to the kitchen. I thought it was a little odd. And I thought, okay, well, maybe she's in a hurry. There were very few people in the restaurant at the time. She came back with everybody's food. She politely put everybody's plate in front of them until she gets to me. And she threw my plate like a Frisbee across the table, and it landed in front of me, and the sandwich was kind of discombobulated because she tossed it like a Frisbee. And then she ran back to the kitchen again. I fully expected her to come out and sprinkle me with holy water or something. And my friend leaned over and said, Kath, she's scared of your energy.
Yes.
And I guess the big band music I was hearing in my head, all of us were hearing it. So and she wouldn't talk to me, but my friend said, could you turn down the music? And she looked at me and said, what music? We're not playing any music. So the spirits among us kind of wanted us to stay there. Why? Because they wanted our energy to be there. They wanted our positive energy to be in that space for more than a tick.
Exactly. And it's all about the energy.
It's all about energy. So if you meet somebody who doesn't like you on site, or you work with somebody that you freaking just can't get along with, and you haven't said anything to this person, and they're stealing your ideas and they're doing it's probably because you're vibrating differently. What can you do about it? Not much.
Unless
forgive them. Forgive them. Do some forgiveness for them.
I knew that was coming. You have to forgive them.
Is it going to change the person? No, but it's going to make you less crazy.
You can forgive their energy. That's what you have to do. You say, I forgive you that you're only a 200.
Exactly. And it doesn't mean you want to repair anything, and it doesn't mean you want a relationship. I can't tell you how many people have said, how could you forgive your parents and not want a relationship? Okay, first of all, they're dead, so that's easy for me.
Right.
But if they were alive, I don't want a relationship with this person, but I forgive them. I'm not giving them a pass. I'm going to repeat myself because I can't tell you how many people they don't get it. I'm not telling you were right. I'm not saying I'm giving in. I just want to be free of you.
Exactly.
That invisible cord that's attached from me to you, I want it cut.
Exactly. And I think that's the part that gets so many people, is that they're so weighed down and so heavily connected to the people and or situation that's got them wigged out, that's got them feeling that that whatever happened was so unforgivable. It's that attachment to that energy, that attachment to that person, place, or thing they can't let go. So you've got to learn to cut that cord through the forgiveness. And it doesn't mean that you're saying it's okay, because
Right.
no, it's not okay. You're just saying, I forgive you. I'm letting you go. Bye-bye. Get lost.
And it also, if you have a sibling, let's say you're mad at your father, for example, and your sibling is not mad at your father and just doesn't understand why you think what he did was unforgivable, or your mother or your best friend, because they don't think it was unforgivable, but in your mind, you think it was unforgivable. Well, with all due respect, I don't care about them. I care about you. And if you think it was unforgivable, then it was unforgivable. And you can work on forgiving that. Pay no attention to the people around you who are trying to say, well, no, that's totally forgivable. No,
Yeah.
don't even listen to it.
It's unique to you.
Well, what I think is unforgivable, and it's really all about what pain how high can you tolerate pain? What's your pain tolerance level? My pain tolerance level might be a 10. Somebody else's might be a 3. It's still unforgivable to the person. I might find it easy to forgive. They might not. I don't think you have to forgive the unforgivable. You don't. Just forgive pieces of the memory. So let's say you have an Aunt Martha, to keep using the name, and she's awful, and you have to go to Christmas every year, and your parents always put you near Aunt Martha, and she pushes your button. She probably smells. We know that she drinks. Every family has an Aunt Martha. My mother used to say every family's the same, only the names are different.
Yes.
And so we all have a alcoholic Aunt Martha somewhere in our family, right? Male or female. So what do? I want you to pick apart at least 3 memories before you even get there. It's going to take you like about a week to do. Every night I want you to pick apart a memory. So you pick apart one Christmas. I want you to forgive the table. I'm actually not kidding. The energy around the table. I want you to forgive the turkey or the ham. I want you to forgive the chair that she sits on, the chair that you sit on, the people who sit around the table and just watch the show, and the energy around these things. And then I want you to pick another memory, and I want you to do it again. I haven't even gotten to forgiving Aunt Martha yet. I'm just picking apart the memory.
Just starting.
And at the end, after you've picked apart 2 or 3 memories, see if you can forgive Aunt Martha and make a pass at it. If you can't, just forgive the energy. So what's going to happen when you finally have to go face to face with Aunt Martha? You're not going to care. Is she still going to push your buttons and drink and be so horrible? Yeah, absolutely she is. But you won't care. Yeah. You'll probably laugh.
By that point, everything else will have already been kind of dissipated because you've been dealing with all the other surrounding energy, surrounding stuff.
You won't care.
Yeah. So by the time you're there face to face with her, it's like it's old hat.
And people are going to notice because she's not bothering you this year. She's not getting under your collar. You don't need a week to decompress. And they're going to come up to you and say, what are you doing differently? What are you eating and drinking? And, were you meditating? You can tell them or not. It's completely up to you. It's not like I've been sober for, what year is it? 35 years. It was the only New Year's resolution I actually ever kept. And in those, when you first drank, you're supposed to make amends. I was shy. I'm an extroverted introvert at this point, just because I've taught myself how to do it. But back then, painfully shy. And reaching out to somebody who was probably going to yell at me back. Yeah, no, I have no interest. I don't want to be yelled at. Rather ghost you. I don't want to do it.
Right.
So my method with forgiveness is selfish, but you don't have to reach out to the person unless you really, really, really want to. There's no need for it. You don't have to reach out to anybody. You don't have to tell anybody what you're doing. You do it in your own home, all by yourself.
Wow.
Now, you could do it with a buddy.
Yeah.
You could do it with a significant other. The 2 of you could go through there's worksheets. You can go through the steps. You can do it together. I only have one warning for you. Make sure that the person you're doing it with, A, is not a name on your list.
That'd be tough.
Okay. Right. And B, is not going to gossip all over the neighborhood because you're going to probably be sharing some very personal stuff. You're going to be crying. You're going to be laughing. You're going to be sharing. You're going to be talking through the memories. So make sure it's a safe person in a safe place.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Wow. Well, this is awesome stuff. What sort of, if you were to give a listener one piece of advice as they leave the episode today, what one piece of advice do you think you'd give them?
You're worthy enough to lead a life of joy. You're worthy enough to lead a life that you were supposed to lead from the moment of your birth. You're worthy enough to live your authentic self, no matter what society and your family and your friends are telling you. You're worthy enough to talk to that little bird on your shoulder. Everybody has the ability. We see it, we hear it, we know it, or we just sense it. Everybody has the ability. It's not just special people. We all can do it. I've just been doing it since birth, but everybody can do this. You're worthy enough to do these things. So it's almost like in Central Park, I don't know if they're still there, but there used to be horse and carriages there, and the horses had these blinders on so the taxis and the buses wouldn't freak them out. That's what I want you. I want you to walk through life as you're working on your forgiveness, and I want you to kind of walk through with blinders on, because I don't want you to buy into what people are saying to you, because they're going to try and sabotage the new you. You're turning into a butterfly. It's a process. And when you turn from a caterpillar to a butterfly, if you research that, the caterpillar actually turns into goo, and then it turns into a butterfly. It doesn't just magically turn into a butterfly and come out of a cocoon. It actually turns into a ball of goo. And then it turns into something solid and a butterfly. So this forgiveness method, I shouldn't say this is the goo because it sounds so awful, but this is how you're going to transmute all of the bad energy. And you're worthy enough for it. And if people are leaving your life, new ones will appear because they're going to be attracted to your vibration.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And by this point, you will have raised your energy so high that you are turning into that caterpillar.
But please, with every fiber of my being, I'm pleading with you, start with the easy ones. Don't start with the hard ones. Please start with the easy ones.
It's the only way to begin. Start easy and work your way up. Baby steps. Exactly. Baby steps, baby. Well, perfect. This was wonderful, Katharine. So, thank you so much for coming on the show today and, talking to us about your great methods for forgiveness. It sounds absolutely fabulous. I can't wait to try it out.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, great. Well, thank you. And thank you, everybody, today for listening and tuning in to another episode of Spirits Beside Us. Hope you enjoy everything that you're hearing. If you are enjoying it, definitely give us a thumbs up, like it, and that way you'll get the episodes in your feed every Wednesday, and you won't miss a single episode. And we'll have all the information for Katharine and all of her books and all of her methods in the show notes. So be sure to take a look at that so you won't miss a thing. And make sure that you practice starting with the easy things. And with that, this is Chris signing off and sending you love and light. And I will see you next time. So bye for now. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Spirits Beside Us. Make sure you head over to the show notes for all the links and information on this week's episode. You can check it out at spiritsbesideus.com. If you love this episode as much as I did, head over to rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, if you're looking for a community of spiritual seekers like yourself, make sure you join my Facebook page, Spirits Beside Us Podcast on Facebook. This is Chris signing off, sending you love and light. I can't wait to connect with you again on Wednesday.